douglAR politics, 11 minutes. 11 minutes to go. 11 and a half minutes to go. douglAR politics, nearly ready to go. Yes, as we say good evening to those who are waiting, 4 minutes and 42 seconds to go. Kathy Supio, good evening. Matilda Rhodes, David Parry, Azina Smith. Good evening, one and all. UNC and Strong. Time to get rid of the evil Obia man, the evil man who works witchcraft. We begin in 4:30. Good evening, Sandra Samad, and to all those who are waiting patiently. We're going to begin on time. Pile of information in front of me. My utmost to get it. Good evening.
Knew you were waiting. Knew you were waiting for me.
Good evening to Deborah McIntyre. You're most welcome. Premraj Bajnat, 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And to your family, share the live. It's also live on YouTube, douglAR Politics YouTube and Atlantic TV. We in the United National Congress cannot depend on the mass media to get out the truth, to get out the information, to put the facts about Kamala Prasad Bisesa and her government, the performance that beats Rowley hands down. So douglAR Politics, we will do it in 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Be ready. Good evening and welcome to douglAR Politics. 2 days ago, printed in yesterday's newspaper, head coach of our football team, our Soca Warriors, Angus Eve, said after 2 practice games against Jamaica, one in which he had to play at 3 o'clock because PNM mismanagement and disorganization, he lost 1-0 and he drew 0-0 in the second game. Angus Eve said, our players need to get fitter. Now, unfortunately for Angus, our big game to get into the Copa America is 23 days from yesterday. In fitness, in sport, one can only hope to get an adaptation upwards in fitness, in your cardiovascular capacity, your anaerobic threshold, your lactic acid tolerance levels, once every 11 to 13 days. If you're training consistently, like 4 to 6 times per week, 3 hours per day. Angus, you don't have that time to train those boys to get even one adaptation, because then you can't get a second one, because that will take you up to 22 to 26 days and the game is smack dab there. When the last 4 or 5 days before the game, you want to be resting, recuperating and just staying sharp, practicing tactics and so on. So in other words, Angus, we lost because we can't get fit between now and March 28 against Canada. What can I say? But in Trinidad and Tobago, we don't take sports seriously because we have Shamfa Kujo as the minister. That is the minister of sport, and that is a hockey man who's been the chairman of the sport company for about 7 years now, and he can't put on a hockey turf. And then I have to read in my newspaper, Govaya, who's the national hockey coach, and the hockey team indoors has qualified for World Cups previously. National senior hockey men's indoor hockey coach Rafi Govaya is calling on those in authority to address what he feels is a total disrespect to the national hockey team currently in training for the Indoor Pan American Hockey Cup in Pridis, Alberta, Canada from March 19th to 22nd. Govaya said his players' preparation for the 5-team tournament has not been smooth. It has not been a smooth project at the Woodbrook Youth Facility on Hamilton Holder Street. Now, it don't only have Woodbrook Youth Facility because Jean Pierre mashed up under this lady and this man inside. So there are no option. They started training in February and broke for carnival festivities as the facility was closed in order to facilitate carnival. But national players have to go out to play against other athletes that are taking sports seriously. And this is what you all vote for in sport. Election is not like a football game, you know. I back Manchester United. Manchester United playing nonsense for 10 and a half years. Yeah, it's be a little sour, but after about half a while, all right. Go and see my child play some tennis, do some homework, she go and walk in St. Joseph, see the PNM doing nonsense, deal with Rowley and the whole cabinet, and I good. I had to work hard to fix it in Trinidad and Tobago. Manchester United don't affect the food on my table, don't affect me putting diesel in my van, don't affect nothing. But politics does. So politics is not like a football game. You support a side, use red, use yellow, red win, yeah, and you suffer and pay 50,000 a year for Rowley to be prime minister, for him to abuse you. Politics is a serious thing. When you vote, there's no side. When you vote for policy, you vote for people, you vote for actions, you vote for something that will make your life better so you and your family could achieve your goals. You're really going to vote for this? This man only claim to fame is he like hockey. He love hockey. He in hockey long time. He love hockey long time. But he sucks. Totally incompetent. Can't even put on an AstroTurf in 7 years. That's what you all have. That is PNM. Move them. Mary Boy, well, you could put back Shamfa because Mary Boy's head now still in sport. Mary Boy's a cricket team, big cricket team, national champion, sometime always battling Queen's Park and thing and Comets and so on and Power Gen down. So let me hear what promoted club struggles with no access to Diego Sporting Complex. Now the entire genesis of the Diego Martin Sporting Complex was from former Mary Boy's president, I think he deceased now, who made and fought to try and get a home for Mary Boys to train and to play because they were battling without facilities. They built the facility. Rowley get Unicott to build it for about 120 million. About 40 million over here. They won't even let she build it. But she's the minister of sport. And then they lock it off and close it off. Now, let's see what's happening with Mary Boys. Mary Boys, though they have arguably been playing at a disadvantage in the ongoing season, as they don't have access to their designated home venue, the Diego Martin Sporting Complex, after contacting the Urban Development Corporation, that noted Noel Garcia. Remember I saw Noel Garcia coming out at Massey Stores, Alice Glen, about 7 years ago, boy, and he had a big bag. I say, boy, how come I have 7 different small bags? He had one big bag, and when I looked, so I didn't have my glasses yet. I thought I see Rowley name on that bag Noel Garcia was carrying. I don't know what that meant. But remember, Noel Garcia is Unicott. Had to spend all your money. That Rowley boy from Las Alturas, Commission of Inquiry into Las Alturas, say Noel Garcia was responsible. Called a heart, Noel Garcia, Rowley, from way back 2004 to 2007. Rowley come back and bring back Noel Garcia, building airport. What happening in Tobago Airport? Building every sports stadium, every house, president's house, Red House, Prime Minister residence in Tobago, fire station, community center, swimming pool. Noel Garcia building everything because PNM don't have nobody, no engineer, nobody with no brain, nobody, all the black benchers. They have a man who, Leon is an MP. Nah, man, he's not an engineer. He can't build nothing. He can't be in charge of nothing. Noel Garcia. But Noel Garcia built this thing and it lock off. The Mary Boys president, Sebastian Edwards, said the Premiership Club was told the complex was unavailable as it was being reserved for warm-up matches for this year's International Cricket Council. So the PNM go on and bid for World Cup cricket. They give Queen's Park no game, but they go in and use the Diego Martin complex for warm-up matches for man to sweat, international people. But the local team, the local clubs, the local athletes can't get access to it. You ain't see PNM is backward. PNM should walk in the cabinet backward. Them should walk in the parliament backwards and bounce into everything. They're so dotish. As they rack up unexpected travel costs, Edwards said he feels aggrieved at Mary Boy's inability to access the venue for games or for training sessions, particularly as it was used to host the National Carnival Commission stick fight semi-final. It had stick fight, it had bus head, it had bois, it had car park on the outfield. Yes, all your 120 million, but all your athletes, not to do nothing. No money for all you. All you must make curricue and barbecue and try to pay for your athletes to go. You can't train, but you're bound to go and get licks. And then this clown will go in Jamaica and hug up Jamaican Olympic athletes, but not recognize our 4x100 2008 Beijing Olympic gold medalists. I saw some of y'all saying, Anil, what you say there? Yes, our relay team that got silver in 2008. Jamaica was disqualified and it was upheld by the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Nestor Carter was deemed to have cheated using a banned substance. Therefore, Trinidad and Tobago moved from silver up to gold. This woman even give them a shrimps and a ginseng. They even have a shake hand. But she gone Jamaica to watch them track and field champs to come and tell we what she going and do for sport. The only thing happening in sport is that she look different. When she walk past me, I even know who it is. It have one version that come in, Lekoto Jambi, and now it have this. Me I know if it's the same person. TNT FA presidential candidate resigns as Laoketa Rangers assistant man. Now this is class. It's a long time since I see somebody just get it so right. This gentleman here, Mr. Keron Edwards, he's going up for the TNT FA presidential election. And you know what this gentleman did? Now this will be shocking for all you, because all you get accustomed to Kangaloo being a PNM, president of the Senate, attacking the opposition, stopping me 21 times in 30 minutes, jumping down, calling, no standing orders, just buffing and trying to hush up the opposition showing pure hatred and bias for the entire country, not allowing the opposition to have its say. And then just so Rowley say, oops, she's not a PNM. She gave up her card and put her in president's house as an independent president. A man in the Integrity Commission talk and they do investigations, rightfully so. Now they come to the wrong conclusion. That wasn't good enough for Rowley. Rowley moved the chairman and put the neighbor of Newman George and Bridget Anisette George as the chairman of the Integrity Commission. The recusals in the cabinet, over 800 recusals, which mean ministers benefiting from decisions that them taking. They go outside, sip a coffee, and say, brethren, like my note day, yeah, oh, millions of dollars, okay. Millions of rentals, okay. You go and sip a coffee, we go approve it for you. That's what the PNM has done and the media allow. This man going up for election, and before the election, he resigns his post that he was existing as a manager or a member of a certain team. He come out to say, that's done there now. I am going, win, lose or draw, I am going up to be the president of the entire federation, to do work for the federation. Less than a week after officially submitting his 9-member slate for the TNT Football Association elections on April 13th, presidential candidate Kieran Edwards has resigned from his assistant manager post at TT Premier Football League club Terminix Laoketa Rangers on the basis of fair play and ethics. Well, boy, me hear something so in a long time. I nearly get faint. Well done, sir. Let me read some more. The reason for my resignation, says Mr. Kieran Edwards, stems from my intention to vie for the position of president of the TTFA. I believe stepping down from my current role is a necessary step to pursue this new challenge with the utmost integrity and ethical but I nearly choke. Hey, Integrity Commission, Hayden Gittins, neighbor of 20 years of Newman George, Paria George, Newman 6 or 7 boards chairman George, Rowley best friend George, and Bridget Anisette George, blue hair speaker of the house that did shutting down debate on she husband Paria and so on. Yes, Hayden Gittins, your neighbor them, you accept the position of chairman of Integrity Commission. You ain't see you as a clown. The Integrity Commission, this man ain't going up for Integrity Commission, you know. He just going up for president of football. And he have more integrity than the man who in charge of the Integrity Commission. Great is the PNM, and anyway, my brother, well done. It was refreshing. San Juan and Fatima share intercall nostalgia title. I must say congratulations to my boys, Fatima. We were playing well. We beat Angasive and them with Clint Marcel. Yeah, you could take down Kieran Edwards, you know. I'll go on to the next thing, right? Because they had the big nostalgia thing. They had intercall with all the big sides. Fatima, CIC, QRC, St. Anthony's, Sawa, Mukurapo, Tranquility, Presentation, Naparima, St. Augustine. Plenty big sides. Different age groups, 25 and under, 40 and under, 50 and over, 60 and over. So thing going good. Plenty. It start late, about an hour and 8 minutes late. Was supposed to start 10 a.m. First kickoff was about 11:08. But the things were running smooth. Competition going good. Action, we coming down to 4:30, 5 o'clock and thing. And semi-finals, well, finals and semi-finals coming to play for the competition. And then PNM took over. Ken PNM Butcher decide on CIC ground that have no lights, that after starting late and competition coming to the real thing now, where you have to play for trophy now. Fatima, we over 50 had to play San Juan in the final. And I think they had another final over 40 and think to play to over 60. This PNM find it so important because he started it in 1993, and you know, PNM, everything is about them to big up themselves because they never really satisfied. He stopped a competition to make speech and give out some award and plaque and thing for 47 minutes. While the light, the sun was setting in the west. No lights on CIC ground. You know. When he finished to talk and amuse himself, then the football started to play. And we, Fatima, playing sour in pitch blackness so much, and they cut down the time. We was playing 12 minutes per half. We supposed to in a final probably go 15 minutes per half. No, because he had to talk and make speech, they drop it down to 6 minutes per half. We played the first half, and then Sawa goalkeeper said, nah, too dark. Well, he didn't lie, it really was pitch black. Only Bat and Dwayne could have seen at that time. But don't worry, the football. So they say, Fatima, we and Sawa share the title. But no big thing, the football wasn't important. This one talking, this P&M clown was important. Hey, Ken, what I would have preferred to watch paint dry than to listen to you talk. Safeguarding whistleblowers. Newsday editorial, Sunday, March 3rd. After the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board, TTCB took a decision to dismiss Kishwa Chaitu, a treasurer, and no confident motion, the board was served with a pre-action protocol letter. Greater concern is that Mr. Chaitu's fate follows an unfortunate trend of treating whistleblowers like snitches, betraying confidences that aren't worth keeping. In May 2019, well before her fateful showdown with the Massey Group Board of Directors, Angelique Pariseau Potter warned the TT Chamber of Industry and Commerce of the need for safe spaces that empower people to speak up on matters of concern. But the P&M don't want to know about whistleblower. Whistleblowers, when they whistleblow on bridgemans, they get fired from the port. Whistleblowers who show that fake oil was coming out of the ground, the minister get fired, Oliveri, and she stay quiet. Shh. Denise Demin, gone. Curtis Rudd, gone. Dr. Terence Farrell leave the Economic Development Board, but he still want to vote PNM. PNM in the craw, PNM in the draws. He can't shake off that PNM. All the PNM people, all the people who do the right thing, let's get pelt out. We see SSA director now, gone. We see Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith, gone through Paula May and Blissy Passad. Anytime you do anything right, you just get pelt out. And this is a PNM, Asim Basarat, the treasurer, saw things going wrong, seeing no process, seeing money missing, seeing things going awry. Call the police, the fraud squad, them kick you out of the association because he called the police and do the right thing. Asim Basarat, boy. But use a real PNM, boy. Use PNM to your heart, boy. You should go and sleep in Balize house under Rowley desk. I see Foster coming. Foster coming. I'm tell you something. Eh? There has something wrong with all your soul. That's why all your people, Foster Cummings, clearly you have no clue of how to be disciplined, how to be caring, how to not be selfish, how to know what's right, how to have integrity, how to know that when you're in government, you're not supposed to be a businessman too with contract all over and so on. You don't have the picture of Foster Cummings? Foster Cummings trying to back. Watch this. Watch this. That shot had to be the worst shot. If you grow up in Trinidad and Tobago as a boy, and you turn out to be a man, and that is the best you could do. You don't, like, you never even watch cricket, you never even watch TV, your stance wrong, your foot wrong, your head wrong, you're holding the bat wrong, your hand wrong, the angle wrong. The only thing you're doing is skinning your teeth as if Gatsby Dolly watching you. Foster, if you cannot play, don't go and take no photo up. All you find is a good photo up, it just makes you look like an idiot. For a human being who come through all you never play wind ball cricket in the road, with the asphalt ball bouncing off big stone, I think you had a block. Foster, the only man who have a worse swing or lack of skill than you is the man who have you as a minister, Rowley. Move them now. Prime Minister, libraries can combat dotishness. Really, Rowley? Libraries? Well, let me give you a word of advice. Let the douglAR give you some advice. If libraries can combat dotishness, turn Balize House into a library. You see all them flaws in Balize house that your car count for, that you say is raffle ticket, then you say it's percentage of councillor salary and so on, and that's how you get 140 million. Never mind it's Calco, it's Kusal, it's Junior Sami, it's Earth Movers, and who else but one other? I'm missing one. But all you know them, we go check when Kamlak back in charge, we go check all who are dropping material there. We want to see the bills. Where you buy it from? Bhagwan Singh. Where you buy the material from? Where you got it from? How much Balize pay you? They pay you with check. What check number? What check stub? Where the invoice? How much? All in that Balize house. But you should turn one of them flaws. The flaws that contractors who in receipt of contracts from the PNM building PNM Balize house. Turn one of them flaws in our library, because the cabinet and PNM is the epitome of dotishness. So if libraries just stop dotishness, then Rowley have a retreat in a library for 3 weeks with their cabinet, because it's the most dotish cabinet in history of Trinidad and Tobago. Rowley promises Gonzalez, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I'll sort it out, the foreign exchange problem. Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, says he has received a promise from his Trinidad and Tobago counterpart, Dr. Rowley, that the situation whereby local businesses and farmers who sell agricultural produce to Port of Spain are unable to purchase Eastern Caribbean dollars in Port of Spain, that will be addressed soon. Gonzalez said Rowley gave the reassurance on the sidelines of the recently concluding Caribbean Community CARICOM Summit in Guyana. The Prime Minister gave me I gave him again a copy of the letter which I had sent to him. That didn't tell you a lot. You wrote him a letter about this issue. That would have been a month, 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months ago. You got no response from Keith Rowley, Prime Minister Gonzalez. You take a copy of the letter, nice, well done, fellow guys, you're working hard for your people. And you went to Guyana with the letter to show Rowley a letter that you wrote him before, and he did not even have the respect to give you a response. He didn't respond. And now you show him the letter that you wrote him before, and he tell you now. He said that before he left Guyana, he was going to inform the Minister of Finance. So Rowley, who's promised his wife that he wouldn't go down in carnage with the fisherman wife, he promised his wife to love and respect and hold and cherish, and children dropping all over, twins by the left, next one down in Tobago, all over. Gone in Tobago sharing chips. He can't even hold up his promise to his wife. He taking other people's wife all over. They walking down the steps. Past 6 dogs. He says 6, but it's 3 dogs that's be in the front by the steps. 1 parrot open my dungeon door and make them lie down on a red couch waiting for the horny goatweed that he ingests to take effect. He promised all them fellas, he promised men in the cabinet, hey, I's your boss, I will not humbug you and your wife, boy. I wouldn't do that. And he break all them promises. But you, Prime Minister Gonzalez, you wrote him a letter, he didn't respond to you. You taking a promise from Rowley. Hear what he say. He said that before he left Guyana, he was going to inform the Minister of Finance, the Dwayne now. The Dwayne who humbugging the people of Trinidad and Tobago and laughing at all of we. He going to help you? Okay, Prime Minister Gonzalez, if you, God bless you, know, all you live in hope. Call me, but to sort out the matter with the central bank. It's not the central bank, it's Rowley's policies, Rowley's decimation of the energy sector, Rowley's shutting down Petrotrin, $2 billion US, gone out of the economy, NGC making a loss for the first time in 2019, 2020, 2021, 11 companies shut down, Point Lisa's down from 74% under Kamla capacity, down to 28%, no US available anywhere. Prime Minister Gonzalez, is not you alone. The douglAR and all, I was coming close by all your day. I and all wanted EC. Run it.
Doubles and coffee as I head to the funeral of the Honorable Bastille Pandey, former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and a man who ran this economy on limited resources but created jobs. put dollar for dollar, increase educational opportunities, improve education across the board, got the crime rate down, and had Trinidad and Tobago's economy on the way to diversification. Yesterday I went to the bank as I'm going to Dominica to be the featured speaker in an electoral reform commission discussion. And I asked for some EC dollars, Eastern Caribbean dollars. And Republic Bank only approved 600 EC maximum. They took my ticket, check where I'm going, what flight I'm on, name, sign. And in this economy under Keith Christopher Rowley, a citizen could only get 600 EC, which is 200 US, well actually 194 US. That's it. That's where Keith Rowley has this economy. So as you say goodbye to Bastille Pandey, compare Keith Rowley and see the mess that we are in. The chasm of despair that awaits us for 2024. And take the advice of Allah and pray. Pray long, pray hard. Bless. So we come back up, make sure the volume back up. So Prime Minister Gonzalez, you have to pray like Allah. You really think, Raul, it had nothing, it's not you alone suffering, the whole country. We cannot even get 50 US. A lady wanted 1,500 US to send 4 years ago to she child abroad. And she calling me to say if anybody she willing to pay all kind of exorbitant. I said, auntie, no. If you had to go in the bank 15 times to get 50 US, 30 times for a whole month to get 50 US to make up your 1,500, go to the bank every day and get your 50 US. 600 small and micro enterprises shut down, Prime Minister Gonzalez, no US. People in the black market buying US at $9, $10 now. Inflation in Trinidad and Tobago across the board. So your people, your farmers are not the only ones suffering. Everybody across the board in Trinidad and Tobago suffering. We can't even get EC. We can't get US. Rowley is a total incompetent dunce. The man did not even write you back. You taking basket from he. I bet you get no relief. I bet you nothing happened. He even tried to blame the central bank. Central bank can help you. The foreign reserves under Kamla Prasad Bisesa were 12.26 billion US in September 2015. It's now 5.77 billion US. That's Rowley. We have no foreign exchange. They just do bonds, and $2.1 billion of the bonds, TT, went to the energy sector. So them not even going and trying, using the US to change it and put it into our system. And then they have PNM, bright PNM doctors and so on, saying we not in a foreign exchange crisis, Prime Minister Gonzalez. You have to pay attention. Don't think that because you knock glass with Rowley, you knock glass with a Obia man, you knock glass with a dunce, you knock glass with an idiot, you knock glass with a pathological liar who did not even have the courtesy to respond to your letter. But here how bad the problem is. This was about 6 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago I do this, run this. And then here's another way. Here's another way that the PNM lies and tries to stay relevant and ensures that we the people don't reach the tipping point, which is a total refusal to accept anymore that we need to reject the PNM out of hand in our numbers. Dr. Terence Farrell. Now, Dr. Terence Farrell was appointed by Keith Christopher Rowley to the chair, the Economic Development Board, in November 2015. He resigned by January 2018 because all the recommendations he made to this clown, whose skin in he played here, were rejected and nothing he recommended was done. And the Economic Development Board collapsed, shattered, and Rowley replaced it with Small Pin Daddy. Right? Now hear this. But then in 2020 when election come, the same clown who had to resign because the man who in charge of the economy was doing nothing that he said to do, still say vote PNM. Now, we in a foreign exchange crisis. And lo and behold, my Business Sunday Newsday, I have to read this Dr. Terence Farrell saying, no forex crisis in TNT. Now that hit me like a I said, but what is this? This man had to be, he checked out at St. Anne's. The other day I going to pick up my daughter in school and a P taxi stopped just by St. Anne's Hospital. And a madman jumped out the taxi, you know. That way we in and gone inside the hospital. To a madman take a taxi, pay money and gone up in for treatment, yes? But we have more outside than inside. Because I tell all you just the other day I had to go to Dominica. And I say, boy, it have a foreign exchange crisis. Let me do him ask Republic Bank for US. Let me go and ask them for some EC. So, EC, Caribbean neighbors, nobody here asking for that too much. We should have plenty of that. I need the US, I go use EC. And they give me 600 EC. And tell me, God bless you. You understand? Which is the equivalent of the same 195 US. And this man say, it's not a crisis. So let me read what Dr. Farrell said. Trinidad and Tobago is not currently experiencing a foreign exchange crisis, although there might be rationing at the commercial banks, which limits access to funds, economist Dr. Terence Farrell has said. And then he talked about some of the reserves. He says, they have official reserves currently of about US 6.3 billion. What he didn't tell you, when Kamala left in September 2015, that was at 12.26 billion US. So roughly half the reserves that Kamala had. He wouldn't tell you that because he's not intellectually honest. He's an intelligent, dishonest human being, okay? So he wouldn't tell you that. But then he went on to say, we also have 6.3 billion US in the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. But he won't tell you that there was 7.6 billion US in the Heritage and Stabilization Fund in September 2015, and that the increase from 2010 to 2016 was approximately 700 to 900 million US per year, and therefore in 8 years of Rowley, had he managed the economy as well as Kamala, there should have been the similar increase of 8 years at 1 billion US should be 8 billion plus 7, should be 15.6 or 16 billion US. But he come to tell you that the reserves in the Heritage and Stabilization Fund are 6.3 billion. And he said, sorry, 5.5 billion, right? He said the official reserves are 6.3 and the Heritage and Stabilization Fund was 5.5 billion. Then he goes on, and I could not understand what he's talking about. So he says, in an extreme situation, the government will probably be able to put their hands down some foreign currency deposits which are owned by statutory bodies or state enterprises. The point I am making, says Dr. Terence Farrell here, is that the foreign exchange situation is not dire. We are not by any means in any crisis. Now understand this. This gentleman, it all has to do with what you believe is a crisis. His definition of crisis is when the government, his prime minister that he resigned from, who don't listen, arrogant and dotish, when this government is unable to access any US. That's his definition of crisis. And his simplistic, superficial argument is that based on holdings in statutory authorities, based on the official reserves, and based on the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, the government, if need be, could get US. So therefore, there is no crisis. Here the problem with that theory, those assumptions, and what it's based on. People with a heart, people who care about others, people who care about citizens will understand that a crisis exists when a business has to shut down because they cannot get US. They cannot pay suppliers. Their credit limits are gone. They have to buy cash on the dash and they can't get cash. When they need 60,000 US, they could only get 3,000. When they need 150,000 to pay creditors, to pay suppliers, they could only get 30,000. When citizens need to get 500 US to go on a holiday, they can't get it. They're only getting 50 US per day and they have to go 10 days to get 500 US. This is a crisis to the individuals, to the small businesses, to the people, to the parents who have to pay for their children in university abroad, for those who have to send medicine and buy medicine for people outside. Though that is how we in the UNC, we as human beings, define a crisis. Trinidad and Tobago's foreign exchange is in crisis because you, the citizens, cannot get US. This man said. Put up the mic. Therefore, Prime Minister Gonzalez, your countrymen, your business people, your farmers are in crisis because they're not being paid and they cannot get access to EC and US in Trinidad and Tobago. But Rowley ain't care. There ain't no crisis because Dr. Terence Farrell say once Rowley and them could get US when they need it, fire bond the rest of all you. If 1.4 million all you can't get no US, can't get no EC, your business can't. If your credit card limit gone down from 20,000 to 8,000, if you have US in a bank account, you can't take it out. If you can't get more than 200 US when you go in your bank, that is not crisis. If you're owing your suppliers and all your 90 days of credit gone through and they only want cash on the dash because you're unable to pay. If you're in movie tongue like Derek Chin and you need 150,000 US and they only give you 15,000, that is not crisis for Rowley. That's not crisis for PNM. That's not crisis for PNM sycophants like Dr. Terence Farrell. But to us, Prime Minister Gonzalez, it's a crisis. So God bless you and your people in St. Vincent. But nothing will change until we change, Rowley. But you may not want you all in CARICOM, all just play friend. Rowley disrespect you. He lied to you and he cannot help you and he will not help you. Because you is not no big CEO. He has no deal to cut with you. You understand? So good luck waiting for that promise. And look how he tell you. He going and tell Colm to help you. Let me just, one more article. Touchstone borrows US dollars locally to fund operations. Touchstone, an international company. Normally, these international energy giants have such access and huge reserves of foreign exchange that they bring it and invest it in Trinidad and Tobago, and therefore we the citizens enjoy the largest and the availability of foreign exchange. Look at what is happening in this article here from today's Business Guardian. Touchstone borrows US dollars locally to fund operations. The Canadian energy company operating in Trinidad and Tobago, Touchstone Exploration, has entered into an agreement with its existing Trinidad-based lender for an increase in borrowing capacity by US 13 million. That's not a good thing for us. So international company that should be injecting foreign exchange is now coming to compete with local business to take out, to borrow 13 million at a time. That might be good for the bank. They get the interest rate. Just like First Citizens cannot give in a businessman. Remember the letter I showed you all? That he wanted 100,000 US to pay suppliers. And they said, nah, you can't get that. Even though he had US account and he had enough TT, he had large sums waiting to pay. But they said, nah, man, we'll give you 100,000 US loan at 9%. So banks now extorting people because of the foreign exchange crisis created by the lack of ability, knowledge, creativity, implementation, and diversification of Keith Christopher Rowley and the PNM government. Elections have consequences. But I could tell you I'm proud. My people waking up. Never mind the newspaper that tell you the mass media will never be on your side. There's two articles that are showing you lies. Customers unfazed by KFC price increase and so on, saying that people just go in and buy normal. That's one newspaper. That's the Newsday, Section 8, Thursday, February 29th. And the Express, Thursday, 29th February. People still hungry for KFC. That's what they say. But look at the truth. Look at the truth. All of you all know that since that fella Mute, whether they say it's not Mute, Christian Mute's son, the family had nothing to do with prestige, whatever. But since he attacked doubles, he attacked the citizens, he attacked Roti, he attacked vendors, he attacked us in our heart and soul. People, it's not about no price increase. KFC always increase their price. And they always pack out. But the disrespect and the attack of the people of Trinidad and Tobago by this franchise, by this rich, arrogant company or a relative thereof, right? Understand that you, the people, show them. And it was so hurting them. But the media tried to pretend, even though you, the people, not going. The media didn't report the truth. Them say, nah, everybody buying normal. Because that's what the mass media does. Mass media in Trinidad and Tobago is worse than Copacabana because they are just bought out. It's like a brothel. Journalism has been turned into prostitution in Trinidad and Tobago. You pay the highest bidder and they try to tell you that is the truth. They lie. So well done, people. And let me show you how much power you have when people unite. Some people might say it's a small thing. No, it's all right. We have to learn to unite and show people power. So it might be small. We have bigger fish to fry. We have property tax to deal with. We have fuel subsidy to deal with. We have the crime scourge to deal with. We have the PNM to deal with. We have the PNM president, the PNM dictatorship of Rowley in getting and infecting all independent institutions. We have that to deal with. But this was a very big one. Because this Christian Mute, he's the roadmap to recovery of the PNM. He in charge of the PNM. He is in charge of everything. And whoa, he has made profits under Rowley. So much so, he could look at his, ooh, what a watch. $500,000 US watch. I can't even get 200 US to go and walk, to go to Dominica to make a speech. And Dominica, well done, my people. Christian Mute. But you force this man who never apologized to nobody, put up, check the apology. They come out strong because you all the people hurt them. Prestige Holdings Limited is aware of a recent negative post on social media coming from a profile bearing the name of Alex Mute. This profile is in no way affiliated with Prestige Holdings, and the remarks being posted under it are not reflective of Prestige Holdings or its values. We can confirm that no one bearing that name is involved in the management or ownership of Prestige Holdings. The Mute family, like Prestige Holdings, respects and celebrates the efforts of all individuals to generate a better life for themselves and their families. Sing, baby, sing, boy, Prestige, sing. Pressure, you see, the only thing that's hot them is their money, boy. All your people, come on and keep it going. Come back, put back Prestige. Let me read more, man. Let me hear them. Let me hear them grovel and beg you. You see, they never care about you. They only know how to abuse you. They abuse their employees. In COVID, they give them a jalita and 2 pieces of chicken, some potato pie, and tell them go home with that. Look. The entrepreneurial spirit is the foundation stone upon which all companies with Prestige Holdings operate. We believe in the principles of competition and respect for all. Really? What about your pharmaceutical monopoly? What about you monopolizing all? What about the PNM giving you preferential treatment? Oh no, you just get big just so? Just talk the truth, because Rowley and the PNM help all you. What entrepreneurial spirit. Everybody could be a great entrepreneur if they have the crutch of $1 billion contract, $100 million contract from the PNM, the PNM, the PNM. We emphatically reject all statements that are intended to diminish the industrious efforts of anyone in our country. These sentiments also reflect the views held by our chairman, Mr. Christian Mute, and the wider family. Well, who is Alex Mute? He not in your family? How we get that? And just on an aside, some of y'all are sharing a very horrible, horrendous video of a young child, school child, using some racist epithets. Don't share it. He's still a child, as misguided and sickening as it is. Don't share that. You have to report it. The parents need to be dealt with, because it's really sickening. But it's a child, so don't share those things on Facebook, okay? All right. I'm not even going to tell you all what it was, but y'all who know it and saw it know it, so stop sharing it. Hey, Christian Mute, boy, move now, boy. Go and get, how Rowley watch going? What size race he is? And brother? Now, I wouldn't, but I don't do that. I would cross out that next one. But to show the people power. People power is very important. And that's, I'm proud. I ain't gonna lie. It's a long time. It's a long time I've been questioning about what's wrong with my people. But take away your fuel subsidy that belongs to you, that Kamala Prasad Bisesa protected. The same finance people will come in to tell her, take away the subsidy from the people so she and her cabinet could have more decision and discretion on spending X amount of billion more. And Kamala Prasad Bisesa, I sit down in the meeting, told them no, in her opinion, that fuel subsidy is the greatest distribution of resources, that everybody benefits from it, whether you have a car or not, because food price inflation stays down, medicine stays down, bus price, ticket price, fisherman could go and fish price, food price, across the board, maxi price. People could move around safely and pick up their children. Kamala Prasad Bisesa left your fuel subsidy for you. Rowley and him but take your fuel subsidy from you and laugh at you. And you didn't protest. You didn't join together. You're still studying red and yellow. And don't forget that it's not no football game. That impacts your pocket directly. The removal of the fuel subsidy for a family of 4 per year hits you at least $24,000 to $40,000 per year. In extra fuel price for your cars, 2 car, if you have 2 car, for your grocery bill goes up by an extra $300 to $400 per month. Your medicine bill, your hardware bill, your everything goes up. So you pay just from the fuel subsidy $25,000 to $40,000 more per year to have Rowley as Prime Minister, for him to come and cuss you, for him to shout down at you, for him to talk down at you. And I was wondering, but what's wrong with my people? How come? So when I see with this Alex Mute attack on doubles and roti and vendors and people and the essence of who we are, it wasn't just price increase. So let's all who person, oh, the price increase. Not that. How many times they increase the price? What? They never had anything. It's not price. It was that attack on the essence of who we are that united the citizens to say, we're not taking that. Fire burn KFC. And continue to do it. Fire burn KFC. Fire burn that Alex Mute. They're trying to say they don't know who he is. Or even though it's a fake profile, they distance themselves because he ain't walking prestige. Really? Where he got those concepts from? Where the Starlight Man got these ridiculous concepts from? Where them fellas who went on CNN and talk all that big talk, where they get that concept from? That's part and parcel of the P&M since 1956 coming forward. And those who pretend like they're such great entrepreneurs when they have Balizé house in their pocket while everybody else sucking salt. So we must unite and understand that that power must now move on to property tax. Imbert and Rowley are wasting and flitting away your money and coming to dip in your pocket again to take more for them to have discretionary spending. But they're not taxing the big businesses. They're not taxing the KFC. They're not taxing the warehouses. They're not taxing the malls. They're not taxing the industrial. They're not. They're just taxing you. But you have the power. Once you realize that red yellow is not no football game. It's serious things. Because when P&M wins, you suffer every day. When UNC wins, your life is better, education is better, the roads are better, crime situation is lower, not perfect, but always getting better. Sport, education, culture, investment is better. Job creation better, diversification better, travel to Tobago connection better. These are just facts. Labor respect better, back pay better, wages, better. Kamala never watch all you and cuss all you, shout at all you, buff all you, tell all you dotish. Why, what Rowley have on all you? Rowley is a Francoman bully, a mama pool. Yet all you afraid that. So just like you treat pretend Rowley and PNM, put a big KFC on Balize house. It done red already. So put a big KFC on Balize house and fire burn them. Because I tell you, it's happening in St. Joseph. I could tell you, because I walk in there, have been there on the ground, all the councillors, and St. Joseph come in. And if everywhere in the east-west corridor, as David Nackett says, start to take it and get rid of the PNM in Tunapuna, keep them out in Sawa Barataria, moving into Lauketa, Talparo, Sangre Grande, down the south, San Fernando West, then we don't have to deal with this disrespect and this pathological liar called Keith Christopher Rowley. Run it and show them what's going on in St. Joseph.
St. Joseph, your UNC representatives are in your community.
And that's going to go across Trinidad and Tobago. Politics is about policy, about intelligence, creativity, and most important, about character. Rowley character rotten since 1969. Think about it. How could a teacher groom, discuss, encourage a girl of school age to have sexual intercourse with him and impregnate her and then leave that child for 44 years? Ask Gata Lane, Rowley's son. You don't see him in the pictures. What kind of man is that? Rowley's low character. Forget PNM, you know. Rowley is a scum bucket. And all in the PNM, they know that. But you see, over the years, PNM has become a cult. They cough in the face. Rowley don't tell them good morning. He shout at them, he buff them, he treat them like dog, and they just take it. Now, I don't ever want an organization like that, I could tell you that. But so we, on the other hand, in the opposition, any little thing happen, bang, 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 all around. But the country is more important and the people are united. So well done to the people. Because let me tell you something. Rat scare at SDA primary school. Parents and staff claim infestation. Parents and staff of the Sangre Grande Seventh-day Adventist primary school say they are living in fear for their health and well-being. This from PNM spending $6 billion on the Gatsby Dolly per year of your money. And I have to read about children, our children, going to school with rat infestation. Are you serious? This Trinidad and Tobago, you know. Land of milk and honey, you know. Oil and gas. Oil since 1908. But we have the curse of the PNM. The ministry pours funds into schools of focus plans, says Gadsby Dolly. Students in 106 institutions are targeted for support. Really? The education ministry is pouring resources into 106 schools, says Minister of Education Gadsby Dolly. The MP almost reminded me she was talking when Anita Haynes destroyed her on the motion last week Friday. But here her response, Gadsby Dolly. The MP almost reminded me of Rip Van Winkle. She now woke up. These are things we've discussed as a nation for years and had been dealing with over time. Her submission was almost childlike in its simplicity. This is what she's talking about Anita Haynes, who gave clear, concise, precise statistics on the failure of this arrogant one who does spend more time causing bacchanal between Foster Cummings and Keith Rowley because she don't know what to do. And poor husband thing was in a garbage bag, but thanks to the douglAR, she unpacked the garbage bag, but they never tell me thank you. She has now woken up and realizes we have serious challenges in education and we continue to work towards surmounting those challenges. There's no education system in the world that doesn't have challenges. Let me tell you something, woman. This Rip Van Winkle stupidity you're talking about. Under Kamla Prasad Bisesa 2010 May to 2015 September, with Tim Gopi Singh as the Minister of Education and the Honorable Fazal Karim as Minister of Science and Tertiary Education. First of all, by 2014, we had the highest, best results and highest marks in SEA for 21,000 children. We had the highest and best results in the Caribbean and the world in CAPE and CSEC across the board. We increased GATE under Fazal Karim from 300 million to 726 million. 12 NESE centers were built by Fazal Karim. MIC centers, children were getting GATE for Tech VOC. There was certification. THTTI was open. Funding for school PAN by Tim Gopi Singh was ongoing. There were over 306 guidance counselors and social workers deployed in schools. There were after-school homework programs. The list goes on and on. PAN in schools, sport in schools. More children were involved across the board. Homework after school. Teachers were paid back pay. They got increases. Wages were negotiated. Education was on a high. Then came PNM. Then came Sleepy Joe Garcia and Lovell Francis, the clown, who wanted to have a fete in Maracas Bay with electricity, rum, and singing with big waves. And then came you, Gadsby Dolly. You have failed the children of this country. Tim Gopi Singh built 106 schools. You have spent, in your however many, 3-4 years, as Minister of Education, over $20 billion. And how many schools have you built? You finished off about 4 or 5 that Tim Gopi Singh left there. You've built nothing, you've done nothing. All we have now is school fight, school indiscipline, rat infestation, no water, concrete falling down and nearly killing children. We have teachers that are disgruntled, security guards that are unpaid. We have no equipment. The schools in the poorer areas are devastatingly underfunded under you, and you are talking with arrogance about Rip Van Winkle. If someone went to sleep in 2014 and woke up under you in 2022 in education, they would have thought the devil passed. But you arrogant, you are such a complete failure, and you have arrogance over your failure. But every day is a different bundles and a different dress and a different, okay, styly wiley. Why you don't go and be the minister of style or the minister of couture? Because it's only fight between Foster and Rowley. You're a complete failure across the board in education. We have the lowest enrollment, even school feeding under you, under Tim Gopi Singh. There were 76,000 breakfasts and lunches given out daily for children under your PNM regime. That dropped before COVID down to 48,000 meals per day, less than 1981 under Dr. Eric Williams. So you want to talk about Rip Van Winkle? All you're going to sleep and you're worse than Williams in 1981. You are an arrogant dunce lady. Our children are suffering. During COVID, you had no laptops, no devices for them. You promised, oh, we're going to get this here. 44,000 children needed devices. You end up getting 16,000. We don't know who get it and who didn't get it. All your drop meals down to 28,000. So you all use COVID to cut back on feeding children. There are more dropouts. During COVID, 2,400 children just disappear. Under you now, 9,000 children get less than 50% in SCA. Under you every year, 800 to 1,000 children get zero. And you have arrogance to talk. Woman, you are a total disgrace. But as we talk education now, all of a sudden the PNM, the plot thickens. Remember Rowley get an honorary doctorate from Howard University? Remember this? And I say, but what? I mean, if Howard want to give him an honorary doctorate because he's our prime minister, I will do that. But the man next to him, Dr. Wayne Frederick, a Trini, he made a speech and he talked a set of nonsense like he didn't know anything about Trinidad and Tobago. But I don't know which way I should do it, you know. Should I? Let me remind you all first of what Dr. Frederick said, because it looked like Rowley bringing he back into the PNM to lead the PNM or to do something. And he come down to open my library and he and the wife give $1 million to the Ministry of Education. Really? How you do that? Who you paying that to? Where you paying it to? Where's the donation? Who say we Ministry of Education need $1 million when the budget is $6 billion? Why they need $1 million from you? If everything was so good and Rowley was so great, Dr. Frederick, don't come and make yourself an imbecile here in Trinidad and Tobago, you know, like you're outside too long and the Yankee visa sinking and soaking into your brain. If you don't know what you don't know, well, hush your mouth, because I respect you for being Howard. You're very good, excellent, brilliant, intelligent. But don't come and tell people who live in here lies about a man who you big up there, and now you're coming here and say, let me remind you, Dr. Wayne Frederick, of what you said when you were giving Rowley an honorary doctorate. Run it. Howard University, one of the greatest institutions in the world. Howard University has come from the struggle of black people in the USA against the Jim Crow, against the racist agenda of politics of Anglo-Saxon people. Howard University was an institution that came up in the struggle. Howard University is the institution of Lincoln Tiger Phillips winning 2 national championships in football, as they called it back then, in 1970, 71, 72. Soccer, where an all-black team made up of Caribbean nationals headed by Bain from Trinidad won the NCAA title and catapulted black people into a position of prominence in a racist USA society back in the 60s, 70s and onwards. Howard University has produced some of the greatest CEOs, even down here in Trinidad and Tobago. We have Camille Richards Chatur, who is a graduate of Howard, and many others, Shaka Hislop, Kona Hislop, the list goes on and on. And Howard University was brought up in the struggle with no resources, with discrimination. They took away one title from the soccer team over spurious reasons. Discrimination, lack of resources, lack of accreditation, pressure from the status quo. So Howard University is an institution that I have a lot of respect for. And understand this, if Howard University or Mr. Frederick would like to give Rowley, because he's the Prime Minister of Trinidad and he's from Trinidad, an honorary doctorate, so be it. So be it, that's your choice. But Mr. Frederick, don't come and lie to me. Don't lie to the population. Don't create a false narrative. Don't make statements that are not based on fact. Keith Rowley is not the first Tobagonian to be Prime Minister. That was A.N.R. Robinson, 1986 December. From Tobago. Go and check it. What are you doing making a speech at Howard University that is fraught with falsehoods? Let me just say, Archie, play the speech. You see, I don't mind if you give him an honorary. He's the prime minister. I want to give him something because he give you order of the Republic of Trinidad. No problem. But do not tell lies. And I'm going to show you, sir. And if you are man enough, you will correct the record on each and every element. Run it, Archie.
The Republic of Trinidad and Tobago has experienced welcome growth. Government policies implemented to promote diversification, investments, and tax incentives for small business have increased the rate of economic growth. Energy reforms are also at the heart of your goals. The National Gas Master Plan promotes renewable energy sources to lessen the country's dependence on fossil fuels and encourages private investment to explore new gas and oil resources. During your tenure, quality education has also been a strong priority with increased school funding as well as more opportunities for vocational training. Under the School Improvement Project, you renovated and upgraded facilities nationwide. Likewise, the number of community centers has expanded with a number of projects within the Digger Martin community you represent. And such centers are crucial to the lifeblood of the citizens, with more than 40 open throughout the country since your first term in office. Infrastructure and healthcare have been central to the well-being of your constituents with improved roads, better access to transportation, upgraded water and sewage systems, and expanded medical care. Your exemplary handling of the COVID-19 pandemic has been heralded for saving lives and lessening the overall spread as much as possible thanks to your quick and incisive actions.
Even Rowley, the pathological liar, that was even too much for him to stomach. Yes, see Rowley face? Mr. Frederick, sir, the energy sector has never been at a... Let me read, because clearly something is awry, something is about, because the Guardian finds an entire 2-page spread on Frederick. He down in Trinidad. He going to open my library. He give the government $1 million. He walking wrong with Rowley. But hear this now, Frederick. We just listened to you say how brilliant that clown was in education and how he invested in education, and the education system was so well you gave him an honorary doctorate because under his tenure there was more opportunities in education and tech work. That's what you read in your bloody prompter in Howard University, giving this clown an honorary doctorate. Well, let me read you now, because one thing the douglARers do, the douglARers read and remember. So let's read you now, Dr. P.N.M. Frederick. TNT's education system needs more investment and accountability. But you didn't say that then. It was brilliant. It was amazing. Rowley had done so much that you gave him an honorary doctorate. And all you saw Felicia Rashad come down here just like, she just come down. She was on the board with this clown at Howard University. Okay? So all of that was PNM machinations to bring he to do something. So whether it's all your leader PNM or Gadsby Dolly, whether it's Minister of Education, because he need a work in June. So all you understand, the douglAR seeing it, but you see, you fit into the PNM, Dr. Frederick, because you said Rowley was brilliant. Education system, he provided improvements across the board for our nation children. Even though I just went through the whole list, he cut everything, and education went down to the lowest ebb that we've been in history. All right? But listen to Dr. Frederick, the same Dr. Frederick. What do you make of the education system in TNT? Where you left it to where you see it right now. Well, let's listen to Dr. Howard, Dr. Frederick. When I left it, I thought it was a world-class system. I was able to compete with anyone on any level. I became a cancer surgeon. I still think that the main ingredients for that are there, but it certainly needs more investment and more attention and more accountability in the system. But you can't do that without resources. And that's the biggest gap that I see. That's the biggest gap. You just gave Rowley an honorary doctorate because you said he increased resources and he was giving it. When I telling you, Mr. Frederick, Fazal Karim and Kamla Prasad Bisesa gave resources. For example, tuition in tech work and education enrollment, 59,000 students per year, $726 million in 2014. Rowley has now cut that down to 285 million per year. Children move down. Those who cannot, their medical students cannot get gate and so on, from 58,000 down to 28,000. The gap in resources is Rowley. Rowley closed down the THTTI. You don't even know what that is, Mr. Yankee. You're gone away so long. Well, I wouldn't even tell you. Go and research what's THTTI. Go and show and research how many MIC centers built and opened by Fazal Karim that Rowley shut down. How many NESC centers. You don't even know what these are. I'm not going to help you. Go and read, because you went and read off the prompter brilliantly. You lie so much, Rowley couldn't take it. Rowley nearly passed out there because he couldn't believe the amount of lie you was reading out. Me, I know who write that for you. But now you come to say that there are no resources, and you come to give me a measly $1 million. Boy, keep your stinking $1 million, boy. It's $6 billion of taxpayers' money that Gatsby Dolly and the PNM have for education, and Rowley has done nothing. Here, the schools are rotting it. The schools infested. The teachers disrespected. The equipment dilapidated. Our children fighting, knife and stab and kick and break neck. That's what we are. That's where we live. So don't come with your Howard mouth and come and talk here, Yankee. Stupidness for me, boy. He continued, this clown, Frederick. Some of them are probably nutritionally deficient, not getting access to great meals every single day. I thought you give the man an honorary doctorate. We have school feeding programs since Dr. Williams. Yes, he's a PNM, but I give Jack the jacket and Jim the gym boots. Dr. William created the school feeding program in 1981, and over 51,000 meals were given to students. Nutrition every day. Tim Gopi Singh, UNC, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, 2010 May onwards to September 2015, increased school feeding, Dr. Frederick, to 76,000 breakfasts and 76,000 lunches to ensure our children's belly was full. The man you handed an honorary doctorate and you gushed as you licked his K-Pax, cut that down from 76,000, sir, down to 48,000 before COVID. And during COVID, he sent the children home to fend for themselves. No laptop and no food. That bastard cut food down to 28,000 meals. Dr. Frederick, you want to take back your flipping honorary doctorate? Because which one? Either you was lying then or you're lying now, because you're talking about our children being nutritionally deficient. Because look the cook here, look the chef, look the resource man who cut resources to our children. So you coming now to fix the education system that Rowley decimated, but you hand him an honorary doctorate. Sir, shame on you. He continued, they're not getting access to great meals every single day. Are you saying the societal issues that TNT faces are corroding the school system? Here, Dr. Frederick, it certainly is. You can't avoid it. Crime is significant. Crime is significant? Really? Do you know crime has escalated since September 2015 when your honorary doctorate man swore in to be the Prime Minister? Do you know the murder rate has continuously increased, breaking record after record? When his small pin who accompanied him there for you to massage his K-Pax, when he was Minister of National Security in 2018-2019, there were 519 murders. That was the second highest in history. Then the next year was 539. That's the second highest in history. The highest was 2008, 550 murders, Dr. Frederick. But do you know when Trinidad and Tobago had its most murderous, crime-ridden year? 2022. When this honorary Howard doctorate that you handed out was the Prime Minister, 614 murders. And then the year after, 579 murders. And now Trinidad and Tobago is awash with blood, criminality, guns, killing, rapes, all sorts of things. No border protection, no police. He changed the police commissioner, not on merit. He chose his own. But you gave him an honorary doctorate for that, for influencing all independent institutions. Dr. Frederick, you want to go back, Howard? Go back Washington, boy. Don't come here, nah, because you're able. He continued. He said, and the most important, when you take away hope, when you take away the anticipation of tomorrow, you really take away a lot from a child. Well, that's what your boy has done. He's taken away hope from every child in Trinidad and Tobago, especially those at the lowest rung. Every constituency that is his stronghold had the highest murder rate, the highest crime rate, the highest school dropout rate, the highest failure rate, the lowest performance, the highest unemployment rate. All his stronghold constituencies. You talking about you from Diego Martin? Diego Martin is in the worst shape it has ever been in. And they have him and his Dwayne acting prime minister too. And our next clown there who nobody knows. But Dr. Frederick continued, what do we need to focus on to meet the demands of school, says Dr. Frederick, who was just espousing the virtues and the brilliance of Rowley, reading something that Smallpin probably wrote. I think we need a national plan. So, the man is prime minister 8 years, 8.5 years, going on 9 years. You give him an honorary doctorate a few months ago, 6 months ago. He had been prime minister for 8 full years. And you're saying we need a national plan? Now, in 2024, which means he had no plan. But you gave a man with no plan an honorary doctorate and said he was so brilliant and amazing in providing good educational opportunities and investment for our nation's youth in academia and in tech voc. That's what you read, Dr. Wayne Frederick. You want to apologize? You want to change? You want to go back and listen to your speech? Because you're contradicting yourself. So the man has no plan. We need a plan. But he man is the man in charge without the plan. Dr. Wayne Frederick continued. Today, all those types of constructs in our cultural transformation have been eroded. We have to invest. We have to be very, very clear about what we're investing in. And this is not just about books. It's about infrastructure. It's about teacher development. Infrastructure. Tim Gopi Singh Kamala Prasad says 106 schools. Rowley, 8 years, 5 schools finished. 30 schools dilapidated and vandalized. Nothing built, no new schools constructed from the start. Infrastructure, all the sports stadium, everything dilapidated. Manny Ramjong shut down. The Atto Bolden, only one side working. Hazy Crawford Stadium, fans had to get turned back because they don't have turnstiles on the other side. Mr. Wayne Frederick, infrastructure, investment, he cut GATE, he cut UTT funding, he cut COSTAT funding, he cut NESC, he cut MIC, he closed down THTTI, he closed down TechBox, he closed down certification, cut funding to YTEP, cut funding to MyLab, cut funding to planning schools, cut funding to sport. What are you saying, Mr. Dr. Wayne Frederick? When you don't know, you either whistle or you shut up because you might be book bright. But your common sense dotish, and you didn't read, you didn't research, you're lazy, and you misspoke, and you contradict yourself, and you make yourself look like a total clown. He continued, this is the same man, you know, and after I finish this, Archie, I feel you had a playback what he say about Rowley, you know, right? It's about teacher development. Daddy man, who said teachers are getting nothing. 0001, 010001 over a 8-year period for teachers. No back pay, no increase. Inflation, the money, the purchasing power parity gone. The $100 that was 2015 is now about $76. You're talking about teacher respect. They don't even discuss with tutor. They've done nothing. They've enhanced nothing. Teachers are at their lowest ebb, demotivated, unappreciated, and underpaid by the man you gave an honorary doctorate, Dr. Wayne Frederick. The fourth and last one is that we have to have a direction. We have to have a North Star as to what it is we're trying to achieve. And you have to have the data to correct that. We have all the data that show we're going down, we're going south. The PNM don't have a North Star, it have a South Star. And that's the man you give an honorary doctorate to. You now criticizing everything about him, showing that he is a complete and total failure. But you were espousing the virtues of Rowley. I ain't done with you yet, I go take my time. Teachers also need to be compensated very differently. Yes, we can't necessarily pay teachers more in terms of cash. How you know that? We could. Kamla did it. Tim Gopi Singh did it. Fazal Karim did it. With less money than Rowley. Rowley spent $500 trillion in 8 years. But not for labor. Rowley disrespects the people, disrespects labor, does not respect teachers. You come to say what? You respect teachers? So why you gave him an honorary doctorate? Because he is the antithesis of you. But anyway, you need a work after June end. Eh? That is what it is. That is the ploy. Okay, brother. Yes, we can't necessarily pay teachers more in terms of cash, but we have to create national programs that help them with housing, help them with getting a car, help them with other things that otherwise they will not have the resources to do, so that teaching becomes more of an attractive profession. It's best you cuss Rowley. It's best you cuss Rowley and vote Kamla. It's best you come tomorrow and say, listen, mea culpa. Vote UNC. Vote Kamla. Because I've just read, I've now seen the cabinet notes. I now understand how much emphasis was put on education in the vein that I believe it should be by Kamla Prasad Bisesa, Fazal Karim, and Tim Gopi Singh between the years of 2010 to 2015. I now realize that Keith Rowley doesn't give a damn about education and the future generations. That our education system is at the lowest. SCA and primary schools are performing at the worst in history. Cape and CSEC, we've been surpassed by other Caribbean neighbors. We do not top the world anymore. We're suffering from brain drain. Our teachers are disrespected. They have the Minister of Finance treats them with scant courtesy. No discussion with tutor. The Minister of Education is useless. Brother man, you now reach, you're jumping because you want to walk. This walk is about reality. It's about facts. It's about people, son. You don't go and give an Obia man, evil Obia man, an honorary doctorate fraught with lies. Like I said, if you want to give him an honorary doctorate because he's from Trinidad and Tobago and he's the Prime Minister, I have no argument with that.
Is implemented to promote diversification.
I'm coming back to him just now. We're going to listen to him just now. I ain't done with it yet. What about the disparity in education in TNT? It's real and it's significant. I went to see Cedros Government Secondary School and I went to Point Fortin. And when I see what those students don't have, it's sad. You went to Cedros, you went to Point Fortin. Do you know those are constituencies held by the PNM? Strongholds of the PNM, support the PNM. You weren't impressed, but you gave the leader of the PNM, the Prime Minister for 8 years, who has created that situation of devastation in Cedros and Point Fortin that made you feel sad. It's Rowley that has you feeling sad, but you hug him up because you want a PNM walk. You see, you're starting off. Are you really that dishonest, sir? Really? Continued. On the other side of it is that we have to create more jobs for those specialized. Boy, just say vote Kamla. Kamla. Call Kamla. You come and form an alliance with Kamla. Go and meet with Kamla. Say, Kamla girl, come and now understand I was outside. I didn't know. I was focused on other things. I didn't read. I didn't research. I'm sorry. Kamla created 55,000 jobs, son. Okay? All sorts. Right now under Rowley, over 123,000 workers have come off the NIS rolls. 6,000 small and micro enterprises have closed down. Petrotrin Refinery, which had 5,300 permanent workers and 6,100 temporary workers shut down. Point Lisa's 11 companies employing an average of 400 to 500 workers shut down. Across the board, fence line communities, businesses, restaurants, nail techs and so on. Overall devastation, no diversification. Tourism in Tobago, breakdown of the sea bridge, devastated under Rowley 2016 to 2019. No jobs, children with degrees and those who are experienced, no work for them. You now come in to say we have to create, but you gave him an honorary doctorate for failing, for creating the highest unemployment in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, but they come to lie with CSO statistics to say we at full employment. You cannot go to the University of the West Indies and get an engineering degree and then on the other side of that not be able to get a job. Well, that's what exists under Keith Rowley. Everything you have spoken about here, sir, everything you dream about, everything you suggest was in place and improving under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, Fazal Karim and Tim Gopi Singh and the United National Congress government. And everything you dream about, all your solutions, Rowley goes obliquely opposite to that. He starved these children and cut their funding for food. He cut sport, he cut PAN, he cut culture, he cut salaries, he increased inflation. People's salaries and no increase. He disrespect labor, he disrespect teachers. No housing, no car loan, no nothing for teachers. He disrespects all labor, he disrespects police, army, firemen. That's Rowley. He decimated the job market. We have a foreign exchange crisis. The energy sector is in crisis. He put all his eggs in one basket of dragon gas, and that dragon gas going to flush now because July 28th, Venezuela call election, Maduro, but the leader of the opposition who won 92% of the vote is locked up and cannot participate. Sanctions are coming back on Maduro. Rowley put all of our children's hopes and future in dragon gas, and the dragon will not dance because Maduro will not live up to democratic principles. The man who Rowley ridiculed while he attacked a former prime minister, a CARICOM brother, to call him the tropical Trump in a conversation with a dunce last night. That Donald Trump is leading Joe Biden by 5 percentage points nationally. And Joe Biden look like he can't walk up 2 flights of stairs. So it looks like your boy has attacked the president, the future president of the United States. That's who you are supporting, a disrespectful miscreant who worked OB on a former prime minister, who you gave an honorary doctorate to, and now you come and you criticize everything. He has no plan. Education is at the lowest in our history. Our children are failing. Our children are dying. Our children have no opportunity. Our athletes are suffering. They cannot get the facilities. There's no investment, no resources. And you come to give $1 million TT to whom? For what? You're a disrespectful human being. Don't come here with your Yankee attitude to come and pay. Oh, you give $1 million? Boy, take your $1 million and go and spend it in KFC, boy. Move in now. As we talk about that, 16 pages full color, right? Rohan Sinanan, watch it here. Watch it here. Of your taxpayer money. All of this, all of this, all of this, all of this, right? Rohan Sinanan. About $150,000 by 3 papers, 450,000 to 500,000 TT, $500,000 for Rohan Sinanan to tell you the roads you driving on, where you just bust your tire and your rim break, you nearly crash, motorbike man dead, people getting in accident left, right, and center, anywhere is traffic because dodging pothole. He spent $500,000 to tell you that the roads you driving on really good. You're not really seeing right. Your shock's not really hearing right. You're bouncing your head on your armrest by your head there hanging where it's a suit supposed to hang. He spent this money to tell you what you're experiencing is not reality. This is his fantasy that he spent your money with. Right? But children can't get food. Rohan, PM, come to the scene. Leave Rohan there. To the scene of your neglect. A letter by R. Polanyi in the Express. This is an open invitation to Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and Rohan Sinanan, our Minister of Works and Transport, your family and your entourage. Come drive along the scenic roads of Tortuga and environs with the visits along the Tortuga Road, Dean and Anton Streets. Come enjoy and get lost in the craters, waves, rivulets and gravel. Come enjoy the obstacle course of your neglect that your tax-paying citizens are made to navigate on a daily basis. Surprise us, your lowly citizens, with your concern and care. Or not. But he spent $500,000 to tell you, Tortuga, Dongso, Anton Street, that ain't really bad. It good, because PNM say so. PNM, when you're talking PNM stupidity, this is in Rowley constituency, in the Diego Martin, Dr. Wayne Frederick. Look at the stupidity of Rowley, just on a low level, no management. Check traffic, watch it.
This is the traffic all the way down from the Trinidad Yacht Club. Opposite the Yacht Club, at 10 o'clock in the morning, they are cutting some trees. And this is the traffic all the way down to Chaguaramas. Why they don't do this at 1 o'clock in the morning when there's no traffic on the road? All the way down here, traffic from Goodwood Park all the way down. Look at this thing. And coming down from Port of Spain, solid traffic as well, solid. This is the stupidness, the waste of time, the waste of maintenance on your car. You waste fuel, rakatang, bangalang, all the way down here. Look at it. Nobody can move because they're cutting a tree. They're cutting down the branches from a tree at 10 o'clock in the morning. This is the stupidness we have to deal with in Trinidad. Why they can't do this at 1 o'clock in the morning?
And Rohan, PNM, great management. That's why they also do Sunday, they stop the work in Chaguanas. How come that work in Chaguanas to make the road wider? How come that taking so long? All you milking it? All you have election coming? All you need some money from some contractors? I see Balize House kind of stop. But I'm watching any of all your contractors. Kusal, I saw you dropping material when my daughter's playing tennis. Calco, Earth Movers, Junior Sammy. I saw all you. I'm forgetting one, I don't know why I'm forgetting one. I go remember just now. But Rohan, you pay some more money to tell people that the road is bad now. And all your PNM can't even understand the pain and frustration that you making and the low productivity that exists with traffic jam. Watch this. Men nearly dead on Rohan Road. Watch. Yeah, Rohan. Put that in a picture now. A light pole fall down in your highway. Nobody here bounce it, It just fall down. Right? Let me see. Editorial. Drowning in dry taps and potholes. Really Express? But you, the PNM, you told us. You printed lies throughout. Attacking UNC. You all have a judgment against you. Scathing. Irene Medina, editor of the Express. Asha Javid against Sibalak Singh and the EMBD when you all were trying to print in your newspapers corruption, UNC corruption, EMBDC. And the judge said that you all were patently dishonest, unprofessional, and in no way could Asha Javid have ever had a conscious belief that what she was writing was true. But this is you, Express. So we're not really interested. But all of a sudden you realize we're drowning in dry taps and potholes. Last Wednesday, a video circulated on social media showing a 71-year-old man fixing a pothole that was causing traffic jams at the busy St. Helena Junction in Piaco. Nah, the road smooth, and Rohan, print a next pamphlet now, pay for our next one. And on Friday, after 2 months without a pipe-borne water supply, taps in Kerna and Trace in Kunupia were set to flow again after residents protested by blocking the Las Lomas main road. Clearly, the managers at WASA consider this as a reassurance rather than an admission of abject failure. Express? The managers at WASA, the board at WASA, the Minister of Public Utilities is PNM. Why are you unable to say the PNM government? The PNM government is in charge of public utilities. The minister is Marvelous Marvin. Yes, new name for him, Marvelous Marvin. Right? He's the minister. The man who know nothing about Wassa, that's why Rowley put him there. But you see how the Express plays games? They try to separate Wassa and managers from Wassa from the PNM. Is it PNM who choose the minister, who choose the board choose the manager, hired all of that, and is it PNM who failing? So let's read it properly now, Express. Clearly, the PNM managers at the PNM Wassa under the PNM Minister of Public Utilities consider this a reassurance rather than an admission of abject failure. The Express is saying that PNM is an abject failure. Amazing, ain't it, Express? This raises a question, why in the country with 6 months of reliable rainfall for the year, the public utility cannot guarantee water for all citizens without the need. And we have been showing you since 2017 at a joint select committee, Wassa under the PNM said, and they were, Minister LeHunt was the minister then, that per month, 4.5 billion gallons of water was being wasted through leaks throughout the country. That situation persists to today. For the Wassa produces 7.4 billion gallons of potable water. And when it turns it on to try and pump it to you through bus pipe leak, main leak, and so on, half of it, 50 to 55% of the water is wasted under the roads. That's why the roads also crumbling. That has existed since 2017, 2018 and exists today. But Wassa coming to tell you, as of midnight last night, don't use your hose. Some of you don't even have water to use a hose. The only way they tell them not to use hose, I thought they was talking to Rowley and Faris when they went by the king of the hose to sit down on the bench and rub up his leg and so on. I thought it's that they was talking about because people are using no hose. And on top of that, the PNM wasting water. So you can't use a hose. But when you go outside there in the road, you're seeing millions of gallons of water, potable water gushing out because of PNM incompetence. But that is the Express. So Wassa say no hose. Well boy, PNM Wassa, hold your hose, eh? TSTT workers protest. They worried about job security. Now you all worried about job security, TSTT workers? When 770 all was fired 3 years ago by the PNM. All they didn't fight because all they say, oh good, at least I get away, boy. Now, them, your brethren, them gone. You didn't make no noise. Now you gone. Who going to fight for all you? The PNM... I go forget our PNM supporter. A man tried to say the 4% is the best the PNM could give him. Now, Gregory Aboud, he wrote a column in the Daily Express, Thursday, 29 February 2024. And by the way, I lost the bet because at an hour and 38 minutes, I keep going. I go in because I go finish. But I didn't complete it. I lost my bet in the time. Because I also went very long because I wanted to explain to Dr. Wayne Frederick how dishonest he was, how unprofessional, how unprepared, and how disrespectful he was out there in Washington, D.C., out there at Howard University, while people were living in pain and torture here, when he was praising the oppressor. I needed to explain to him how he responds. That's his problem. I couldn't care less. But he's a disgrace. And anyone who was the head of a university but would open his mouth without first researching has not learned a thing, no matter how bright you are. You could be a surgeon, book bright, well done, pass all the exams. But you're not smart. I don't open my mouth on this show until I read, double check, remember, triple check, check resource, check statements, pull video, then I open my mouth. You understand? Gregory Aboud, you know your boy is always tell you he's a PNM. You make sure to try to get the message to me that, Anil, I'm not a PNM. Well, what are you then? Because let me read something here, because I'm not understanding. The tragedy of our capital city. The tragedy, okay? Strong words. The city of Port of Spain not without its several challenges, is facing a serious threat in the immediate weeks ahead. The situation regarding a parking and traffic plan for downtown Port of Spain has not received any attention, nor has there been any recognition of the crucial relationship between parking and traffic arrangements on the economic health of the city itself. At best, it's simply a frustrating exercise in which we are told what has been decided. None other than the Honorable Prime Minister himself at the recent inauguration of our new mayor stated emphatically that the one accomplishment he would like the new council to achieve in their new term of office was the introduction and installation of parking meters on the city streets. The deferral to the central government is not in keeping with the supposed spirit of local government reform. Reform was supposedly to give greater autonomy over conditions in cities, towns, and residential neighborhoods. Instead, the model seems to be unpopular, since every need and request of citizens in commercial and private life is being deflected by local authorities to the central government. Mr. Aboud, what you have just written is a treatise on the incompetence, the lies, the breaking of promises by Keith Christopher Rowley and the PNM. Everything you have said is true, but you've not come to a conclusion that the man in charge of the cabinet, the man in charge of the resources, the man in charge of the parliament and the Senate has done nothing. There's been no local government reform. The PNM has been in charge of Port of Spain, the city, since 1962. No other mayor of any other party has ever been sworn in as being mayor of Port of Spain. Yet Port of Spain and the city, there's a tragedy of the capital city. Nothing is going on. Business is dying. Economic health of the city, it's on lifeline. It needs resuscitation. There can only be one conclusion: that the PNM, Prime Minister Keith Rowley, is a complete and total failure. That the PNM government and cabinet and the Minister of Finance is a complete and utter failure. That the PNM mayors, all of them in different hues, colors, and chains, have all been total, complete failures. That the Port of Spain City Council, made up of all PNM, is a total, complete disaster. That's your conclusion. You see? Why are you unable to say that? Because everything you write here is factual. Well put. You think it's about time you be honest? I expect a text from one of my partners, but he will have to say that I am being very fair. I'm giving you an opportunity. I'm agreeing with what you're saying. Because if anybody was in any one of your businesses, sir, they didn't increase sales. Costs were going up. Employer delinquency was high. Absenteeism. Stock was being stolen. Profits down. Money down. Resources down. Loans not being paid. Store dilapidated. Air conditioner not working. Would you have or continue to hire that manager or that CEO? No, they'll be fired long ago. So why can you not say fire Rowley, fire the PNM, fire the mayor of Port of Spain, fire the PNM council? We need change. We need people who listen. We need people with creative ideas. We need people who consult really for consultation and take on board those who know. Why you can't say that, Mr. Gregory Aboud? Please, I'll read in the next column. I'll look at your, do a video, respond to your brother now. Rowley, a buyer interested in Point-a-Pear refinery. Rowley, we don't want to hear you. You shut down the refinery. It closed. You shut it down regardless of all the 64 million of advice to not shut it down. the McKinsey report, the Solomon report, the Lashley report. You lied and said that the Petrotrin board told you to shut it down. Winifred Espine went under oath in the labor court and said, I said no such thing. The board of Petrotrin told Rowley no such thing. Rowley, you shut down Petrotrin on your own. Who interested in it now? To buy what? Buying scrap iron, old battery, buying. Who have $13 billion to spend on all the debt that is still there, that Heritage kicked down the can down the road for 20 years? The 850 million US bullet payment from Malcolm Jones, who was Stuart Smallpin young client when he was doing the World GTL. That payment is still to be made. Who going to buy a refinery that has been shuttered and sat down there for 4 years and 6 months? You know? But we know people wonder why. Why, Rowley? Why you shut down the Petrotrin? Why you shut down the refinery when nobody told you to do it? They said to just refine it, to cut costs here and there, make it a lean, mean producing machine. Why you shut it down, Rowley? Why you lie on Winfred Espine? Why you fire Nicole Oliveri, the former Minister of Energy? And who is it? This is not your friend, Rowley. This is not your friend. Run it.
This one is that. This is for Dr. T. Rowley. And the useful and impeccable structure, we call it. I'm celebrating the PNM celebration now. So I just give my love it. Just give my love, give my. If you're that girl, well, you might have been my wife. And Rowley, you doing it. I'm not going to know this. Keep going, Rowley. Yeah. I don't want to like talk long fun. And today I come out to celebrate the flying of PNM candidates and of PNM people. What is the mind like this? Study by what? What's key? What does it? Oh, it's been the out of the mind. But now who do you want to claim? Celebrating. Ready to PNM. Ready to PNM.
Great is the BNM. Great is the BNM. Stiati, I love you like hug, love, man. And what? How that man so excited? Oh, where that case reach? Where the investigation? Oh, Petrotrin shut down. So police can't get statement. They can't, the security changed. All the officers were there. All the cars, they can't get the GPS. They can't say where Dioki sing, who went by there, who was checking, who checked the meter, how long this, who signed the book, how much oil came out, how much didn't go. Oh no investigation. How much, Rowley, how much money you gave to get a forensic oil engineer investigator in there for the police? Oh no, that investigation done. But that fella just loves Stuarty, like hog love mud. Oh, Stuarty, if he didn't have a wife, he would have make you his wife. You look like you might have liked that, and Stuarty. Now Stuarty small pin young. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. The kind of immaturity, stupidity, classlessness, dotishness, childishness that is espoused by these clowns. This man, the super traveler, gone to a gas conference to represent the people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And look at this small-minded, small pin, what he go post on his Facebook as the Minister of Energy of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Put it up there. You don't have it? You don't have that? He Facebook post. If you don't have it, he posts up on his Facebook a picture of him, and on the top, the caption says, when your friends in Trinidad tell you they see you on Al Jazeera. The Minister of Energy of the Republic of Trinidad. Look at today, Stuart Young. When your friends back in TNT tell you that they just saw you on their TVs on Al Jazeera. Oh gosh, you make TV, Stuarty. Oh gosh, oh how exciting. What friends you have in TNT? Why you all let us lie? So who's your friends? Name your friends. But be a minute now, all you don't understand why the energy sector in total shambles, and this clown gone to Guyana, who he and the Prime Minister abuse, send PNM people over there to get involved in the election. He going to tell them, We go negotiate for all you. Guyana will run from you, boy. It's only we stuck with you because Rowley is a clown and you is a PNM clown. The only thing, well, since you like to be on TV, Small Pin, call your friend and them. Watch you. Hey, wait. Watch all the Small Pin. The music gone left and he dancing to the right. Watch him wine. Watch his stiff one. Call your friend Small Pin. You make douglAR politics. You make TV. Oh, Al Jazeera. Farley say oil spill at tier 3. And we have a tier 3 idiot here as Minister of Energy. Divers assessing damage to Gulf Stream wreck. But Rowley saying, oh, this one say the 350 Gulf Streams. Rowley come back from Guyana and CARICOM stay outside for about 14, 15 days and come back and say, well, they have 300 of them. Them don't know nothing. But Bellingcat and Guardian have the whole story. Young, government still verifying info on oil spill vessels. But Bellingcat and Guardian know everything about who own it, who have it, where it was, all the information. But them don't have none, right? But they have oil spill secrets, says the Guardian. Now, furthermore, it's been over a month. Actually, I have that video. You found it or no? Yes? But let me tell you something. This thing is so serious, and the PNM has dropped the ball, and they're trying to pretend. Look at Tobago still, you know. Watch it.
Oh, yes. Happy Monday morning. Your boy live on location again outside the Magdalena Resort, Lambo area. With the Aja News reporting on the 4th of March, just after 8 o'clock. So some work has taken place. Some work, as you notice, they have scraped this area here. Alright, a little bit towards there. If I could just, so they have started to scrape this area here. But still, you have all of this blackness. Still very, very thick. All of this blackness still extending down the entire, just gonna try to zoom up, the entire Magdalena stretch going all the way to Magdalena Hotel. Water is still a little bit black as well. They do have some workers down there and a bobcat and a backhoe and things flying and loading. It's really a humongous amount of contaminated sand to move out and things, As usual, you have those little moon walker fellas there. I don't know really what them could really be doing with shovel and things. This is more a job for heavy equipment. I would have recommended a nice tractor to come and grade all of the sandy areas, but I'm not seeing that at all. But
a lot of the globules went down. We can't see down under the water, the coral. But there's PNM for your efficiency. And now you all understand that Keith Rowley of Emailgate now come to tell you all that he fired the SSA director, the spy agency, because he was hiring people from his church. Now they have not shown anything that the man was in charge or involved or interfered in any form or fashion in any of the hiring practice. In the public sector, you have advertisement, you apply for positions, there's a committee, HR, they go through individual interviews and so on, score you and so on, and then people are hired separately from the director. The director don't hire people just so. But Rowley say that he was hiring people from the church, so you remove him after a 30-minute meeting to further investigation, but a man come in from outside to come and sit down and be the SSA. What is the SSA? The spyware. That is the spyware, is where Gary Griffith had kept it half and half. Half with the police and half with the SSA. The SSA are political influence. The National Security Council liaises with the SSA. So therefore they had a check and balance. When Rowley went by Paula May and caused her to misbehave in public office and breach section 123(4) of the Constitution and give back the merit list to Bliss C. Prasad, who came and misbehaved in public office, broke the law, took back the list, which was duly approved by a majority of the Police Service Commission. Rowley then selected his own Commissioner of Police, not based on merit, not based on the Independent Police Service Commission, DCP Tojam. And DCP Tojam took the two halves of the spyware and put it over here to the political arm so that Rowley's National Security Council now control how and who and when, where, why, what they spy on. I'm glad they spy on me because every other morning I just cuss Small Pin and cuss Rowley. Some real cuss. So it just print out for them to carry it. Because me, I couldn't care less. All you could macro me how much all you want. You understand? It still wouldn't help you, Rowley. Because you should have been macroing who was Special Branch in One Woodbrook Place. You was macroing the wrong people. And Special Branch went with your girl. You understand what I tell you? Yes, that's what you should have been doing, Rowley. So Rowley now had control of the SSA and the spyware. And Rowley, the email gate liar, Police Service Commission liar, Delcy Gate liar, Indemnity Gate with Nelson liar. Rowley telling you, the population, that he move a man from the SSA and put a next man. Because the man was hiring people from the church. So why people from a church can't get a work? They go through the process. If they qualify, they get a work. What Rowley have against church so? Because Rowley is a self-professed Obia man. He boasts about it, not me, you know. Actually remind them about Rowley and the Obia and the witchcraft, what he do to Manning, and he boasts about it, and PNM people clap him. Run it.
I want to tell you something. I'm from Mason Hall in Tobago. Mason Hall very close to Liquor 2. The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it. Remember I was in the cabinet? I took issue over the behavior of Calder Hart and UDCOP. And what happened to me? I was put out of the cabinet. The person who put me out regretted it.
He come to tell you that it's national security concerns. But Rowley didn't have no concerns about national security while the border is open, while dead boat could float in, while man could be dragging Gulfstream barge and disrespecting, decimating and desecrating the entire island and all the beautiful beaches of Tobago, that guns and migrants, the hundreds of thousands, could come across from Venezuela. No diesel for the Coast Guard, no radar, no air guard, no helicopter. Rowley cut funding to all of that. Then comes to tell us about national security. But we have to deal with a gruesome weekend. 5 killed in Trinidad, 2 murdered in Tobago, prison officer found dead in Barrackport Forest, body found in Venezuela believed to be missing fishermen, murder in Penal, child found under dad's body, murderers kill a man, shoot a man, and he covering his 2-year-old baby. The baby get grazed with bullets. But Rowley says, soon, initiatives coming soon to protect children. This is the man who had the Judah Jones report for 2.5 years and did nothing. Initiatives coming to protect children. Rowley, what about this baby, little baby here? Y'all remember who this is? Yaelvis Saravia, a Venezuelan migrant, a baby whose head was shot open, blown open by Coast Guard big bullet, and he was killed on the high seas. And the story lacked or needed much more people, talking about the boat with 37 people tried to ram them with one engine. A boat with one engine cannot go more than 5 miles per hour with the current. There were no, the Coast Guard had the ability to use the infrared to see if there were any guns. No guns, nothing, just innocent people. Where the investigation into that? But you're telling me about initiatives to protect children, children dying all over the place, and you telling David Nackett that you addressed the issue by saying, yes, children were dead and we are sad. Rowley is the Prime Minister 8.5 years and Trinidad is in total chaos. But let me ask you this. Is this story real? Clive Dutton, Pastor Clive Dutton put up a post. Yeah, I wonder if you have it there, Archie. If you have it, put it up a Facebook post. Is it a fact that a senior counselor of the San Juan Laventille Regional Corporation issued threats against innocent members of the Malik RC Church. Reports have reached the Secretary General's Department of the Caribbean Religious Liberty Association. Was this a false report or a genuine report? What say you, mass media? Because there were reports that this gentleman, Kwesi Antoine, and I am asking you, Mr. Kwesi Antoine, is that report that was made to the Caribbean Spiritual Christian Association, is that true, or did they lie on you? Kwesi Antoine, I think he's deputy chairman of the San Juan Laventille Regional Corporation, PNM. Reporters, mass media, did you all contact Kwesi Antoine? Did you get a story? Did you ask him what's going on? How come? What about the PNM counselor who chopped up his family member from St. James up there last year, July? What about that? You're not interested? PNM could do all they want. What about the PNM former counselor and his father who get charged in South with some stolen car thing? Oh, PNM. Rowley says the PNM is held to a higher standard. Really? Mass media, you're not interested to find out? Imagine if it was a UNC. What would be the situation? Big question. Do you agree that Trinidad and Tobago suffers from a security and border control crisis? Corrupt to the core, says the Express. But they leave out PNM, you know, talking about the border, talking about immigration, talking about BIR, talking about scanners, talking about port workers, talking about corrupt to the core. But who's in charge? Who's in charge of all of these? So the PNM just in government, they just get big salaries, they control all the resources, they make all the policy. They could change laws, they could do everything. They hire all the people, they put all the boards, but them have no responsibility for nothing. So the Express just say, corrupt to the core, but leave the PNM out of it. Isn't it amazing? The PNM fail at everything, but they get a blight from everyone. As we wrap up, I see a Newsday editorial. And hear this. And this is why you have to, y'all are doing a good job. All these newspapers, their circulation is down. Guardian Media Limited, we're waiting for the report, but it is they lost about 12 to 14 million dollars last fiscal. Very good. Because they want to support PNM. They don't want to support journalistic integrity and professionalism. They don't want to be fair. They don't want to print the truth. Look at this editorial. What Kamala and Rowley have in common. And they try to go to talk something. But anybody who knows Kamala and knows Rowley, they have nothing in common. Kamala had one husband she loved for 52 years. All she children inside wedlock. Kamala don't have no outside child. Kamala was a teacher. She did not have sex with a child or a boy of school age. Rowley was a teacher and he had sexual intercourse with a girl of school age. Kamala had no integrity in public life act form that went by file that went by the DPP and they forget to let Rowley know and so on. Kamala had no land date. Kamala had no Las Alturas. Kamala had no email gate where she come in the parliament and lie down the place for an hour and 15 minutes. Kamala don't buff up people and cuss media and carry on and cuss minister out there and buff and blame everybody else. Kamala, husband sleeping home, not in no one Woodbrook place. Kamala don't have no 3-dog, walk down a parrot, open a dungeon door and no red couch. What you talking about Kamala and Rowley have in common? Rowley is a disgusting miscreant, a low character phlegm. Rowley is chewing gum on the bottom of the sole of my shoe. So leave Kamala out all your mouth. And to y'all mass media, that's why you will continue to suffer, because you do not print the truth. To Gregory Aboud, to Dr. Terence Farrell, to all of you so-called intellectuals who are intellectually dishonest. Please, our country requires a higher standard. Talk the truth. Good night.